Hey guys, welcome to today's tutorial. I'll be showing you how to make a basic pants pattern. So the measurements we'll be needing is our waist circumference, our hip circumference, our thigh circumference, our waist to knee length, and our waist to ankle length. So those are the measurements we'll be needing for this tutorial. We'll be needing our marker, 2 different colors. We're needing tracing wheel, pattern master, paper scissors. Please don't use your fabric scissors, paper scissors, and we'll be needing our tape rule to take down measurements. So let's set those things aside so we can work on our pattern now. So to get what we'll be working with, we'll be dividing our thigh measurement divided by 2 plus 1.5 inch. So plus 1.5 inches. So my thigh measurement is 21. 21 divided by 2 is 10.5, and 10.5 plus 1.5 is 12 inches. So I'm just taking 12 inches, or I'm just marking 12 inches. So I'm just going to connect those broken lines together using the straight part of my pattern master. So this is going to serve as a guide. So that 1.5 inches is actually our seam allowance, which is going to make sense as you go into the video. So remember, your thigh measurement divided by 2 plus 1.5 inches. So that is what I took. So I'm just measuring, I'm just marking that down to the length of my pattern paper. So from the top of my pattern paper, I'm going to go down by 1 inch, which is going to serve as our guide for our pattern one. We don't start from the edge, so we're going to go down by 1 inch. So I'm going to square that line using pattern master again. Then I square the line. This is going to serve as a guide for our pattern drafting. Just connect that line together, and here we have it. So next thing I'll be doing now is to divide my hip measurement by 4. Why am I doing this? It's actually to get a reference line for my crotch point. So if you did not take your client's measurement, if you did not take your measurement, your crotch depth, I got you. Just divide your hip measurement by 4, and we'll do the manipulation as you continue in the video. So my hip is 35. 35 divided by 4 is 8.75. So I'm actually taking my actual hip measurement, my actual hip length of 8 inches, my waist to hip line 8 inches, and my reference line of 8.75. So that is why I'm doing. So I'm going to take my waist to knee length of 22 inches. Please, I am using my high waist, so 22 inches, and the next measurement I'll be taking is my waist to ankle line of 39 inches. So that's what you see me mark now, 39 inches. I'm just putting it in frame so we can see very well. So let's mark 39 inches there. There we have it. And also I'll go to the middle of the workspace that we're working with. I'll mark my 8 inches, which is my waist to hip line length, and 8.75, which is my reference line, and my waist to ankle measurement of 22 inches, and my waist to knee and my waist to ankle. So now I'm going to do that again. Let me just repeat that. My waist to ankle 39, my waist to knee 22, my waist to reference line 8.75, and my waist to hip is 8 inches. So let's connect those broken lines together so we can have a really nice horizontal line. That's the first mark I do was my hip line. This is the reference line, and the next line I'm marking is our knee line. So let's mark my knee line now. This is my knee line, and the last but not least is our ankle line. I did not add seam allowance, my ankle line. So now what I'll be doing is to mark from my reference line down. I'll be marking 2 inches, so that is our crotch line. So I went down from the reference line by 2 inches. If you're on the bigger side, you can use 2.5. So I used 2 inches. I'm just going to connect. So now the next thing we'll be doing is to write down or label our line. So the first label I'm making is my waistline. The second label I'm making is my hip line. And the third label I'm making is my reference line, which is our hip line divided by 4. That is my crotch line, which is 2 inches below my reference line. If you're on the big side, 2.5, please. Then the next measurement, the next label I'll be doing is my knee line. So I'm putting it in frame again so we can see. So this is going to be my knee line. This is going to serve as my knee line. And this is my ankle line. So we have a well labeled lines now, so we can start working. So what I'll be doing now is to take from the edge of my pattern paper, the 1 inch is going down by another 1 inch, because we'll be adding bands to this pant. So I don't want it to be too long, so I'm just going to go down by 1 inch again, which is going to serve as our band line. So now I'm just measuring it to confirm everything is making sense. Yes, it is. So yeah, just go down from the first line you measured, like the 1 inch you measured, go down by another 1 inch. It's going to serve as your band line. So now we're doing nice. From the edge of my pattern paper, I'll be taking my hip measurement plus 1 inches. So my hip plus 1 inch, rather, my hip is 35 divided by 4. My hip circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch. So mine is 35 divided by 4 is 8.75. 8.75 plus 1 inch is 9.75. So I'm just marking 9.75 there. So that 1 inch is going to allow us half space on our side seam of our pattern. So I'm just going to mark 9.75. Remember, your hip circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch. So I'm just going to like mark from the edge and mark where 9.75 stops. Please, it is my measurement, so please tailor it to suit you. So I'm going to connect those broken lines together again, which is going to serve as our crotch line. So when I connect it together, that is going to be our crotch line. So I'm just going to like mark that. So the next will be nice to take our horizontal measurement, our now horizontal measurement without this seam allowance. So I'm going to start by marking my hip measurement, or my hip measurement, which is my hip circumference divided by 4. So that gave me 8.75. So I'm going to mark my waist circumference divided by 4. My waist circumference divided by 4 is 6 inches. So I'm just going to calculate this. My waist is 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6 inches. So I'm just going to like mark 6 inches there. Then also our dart intake of 1 inch. So I'm just going to like add 1 inch. So altogether it is 7 inches. So that's what I have. So next now, really nice to use my pattern master to just I'm going to mark it on the first line we made, our first hip line. I'm just going to mark it so we can like have like a really nice connected line. So I'm going to use the cuff part of my pattern master to just connect. Just like connect from that point, and yeah, just like connect from my waist to my hip line. That is all I did. So I'm just trying to like mark that point that I don't need it. So now on my crotch line, I'm still going to like take 8.75 and connect also. Please don't make it a sharp line. So I'm just looking for like the best fit part to mark it, so I don't have like a sharp point. So you see now we have space on the side seam of our pattern. So now we're working on our crotch depth. To get our crotch depth, what we're doing is our hip circumference divided by 20. So my hip circumference is 35. 35 divided by 20 is 1.75. So 1.75, that is what I have as my crotch depth. Please make sure you are using your own your own body measurement. So now I'm going to, from that crotch line, I'm going to measure 1.75 and mark that. I'm just going to like mark that, and I'm trying to like tell you that it's accurate. So from that line to my crotch depth is 10.5, which is my actual time measurement. So I'm going to like connect. So what I'm doing now is to just like remove sharp edge from that point, just curving the sharp edge at that point. So now next now would be nice to just like use my pattern master to make a curve. So we have our crotch now. So our crotch is ready. So what would be nice to find the midpoint of this pattern. So I took my measurement from that my crotch line to my side seam, which is mine. When I divided it was 4.5. So I'm going to like take 4.5 on that point. Then I realized that I added 1 inch. Remember, we added 1 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to like add that 1 inch down to where I have my midpoint. So that gave me 5.5. So I'm going to mark 5.5 down this pattern paper, as you can see me, to my ankle. So I'm going to like rule that line. So this line is going to like make us have like a really nice gator in front of our pants. So I'm just like connect that line together. So now we have the center of the pants paper, the pant pattern rather, sorry. So now what I'll be doing now, my knee measurement or my knee circumference divided by 2, then I'll divide it on both sides. So my knee was 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. So now I'll divide that 8 inches, I'll put you see what I'm going to do now. So that 8 inches now, I'm going to like share it on both sides of the line. So I'm going to take 4.5 inch towards this point. So I'll mark 4 inch rather. Then I'm going to take 4 inch again towards the other side. So we have altogether 8 inches, which is peculiar to me. So I'm just going to like connect from my crotch line down to my knee line. So now it's already looking like a pant now. So I'm going to like use the curved part of my pattern master also to connect from my crotch depth down to my knee circumference. So that side is our inseam. So now for the ankle, we'll be doing the same thing, but my ankle this time is 14 inches. So my ankle is 14 inches. So I'll divide 14 divided by 2. Then I'm going to share it on both sides of the line. So now 14 divided by 2 give me 7 inches. So 7 inches divided by 2. So we want to like share it on both sides is 3.5. So we're just marking 3.5 on both sides of the line. And we are going to like connect using, you see what I'm going to do now? I'm going to like put my tape rule at my knee line, and I'm going to connect it down to where I marked 3.5 on that side. So I'm going to like mark, I'm going to like use it to like mark broken line because I don't have like a really long ruler. So I'm going to like mark broken line. So that is going to serve as a guide for us. So I'm going to do the same thing also on my inseam. I'm going to use a broken line to connect it. My tape rule from my knee down to my ankle. So I'm going to like connect it with a broken line. So we're going to connect with a straight line when we see it's perfect. So I'm going to connect that with a straight line. I'm going to connect that with a straight line now with our pattern master. I'm just going to connect that down. Connect it down. You see that our pattern master is not very long, so I have to like use that trick. So we're going to do the same thing also, the straight part this time from that part of our inseam. I'm just going to like connect that. Connect it also. And yes, our front part pattern is almost ready. So next I'm doing now is from that waistline, I'm going to go up by 0.5 inches because our waist is not straight, it's curved. So I'm going to go up by 0.5 inches and I'm going to connect that 0.5 inch back into the waistline, the actual waistline. I'm just going to connect it back so we have like a lift there. So now I'm going to be taking my that intake. So my bust span is 6 inches. So 6 inches divided by 2 is 3 inches. So I'm just marking 3 inches down. So that's going to serve as our dart. So now I'm going that's why I made that line. So it's going to act as a reference. So I'm going to go down by 5 inches, which is going to serve as our dart leg or our dart length. So I'm going to like mark that soon. So next now we is to take our dart intake of 0.5 inch on both sides because we added 1 inch as our dart intake. So we like use an angled line to connect that together. Just like connect that using an angled line and do the same thing on the other side of our dart. So our front pant pattern is ready. So next thing we do is to just add seam allowance round. I'll be adding seam allowance of 0.5 inch round. So that's seam allowance I'm working with 0.5 inch on the inseam and on the side seam. Things like add that. I'm just like going to rush that so we can be fast with the video. So the video won't take like a very long time. I'm just adding seam allowance. That's all I'm doing basically. I'm going to add seam allowance on the crotch line also. Add it there on this waistline round. So I'm just like connect my seam allowance. So this thing is like this part is very very self-explanatory. So enjoy watching. So I'm using a different color of marker so we can see it very well. So I'm using a different color of marker so we can see it very well. So I'm connecting my seam allowance that I made with my pattern master. That is all I am doing. So that's all I'm doing. So guys, if you've watched this point and you've not subscribed, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Please do. So just connect those dots together. They are seam allowance. And if you choose not to add seam allowance on your pattern paper, that's also fine. But I prefer adding seam allowance on my pattern paper. So I will have to go through the stress of adding seam allowance on fabric. So I'm just gonna connect. I'll see me do. Just make my crotch depth very well. So and please don't forget your waistline. Just like connect that also. Make sure you connect very well. So now I'll be adding our M allowance. The M allowance I'm working with is just 1 inch. So I'm just going to like mark that and connect back to my pattern paper. So we are done with marking our seam allowance and I'm cutting. Things like cut. That's all. So we'll be able to like work on our back pattern. So now I'm just going to like trace, not the seam allowance, I'm going to trace the actual measurement we made. That's why I used two different color marker. I'm going to trace the red one, so we can like understand. I use different color marker so I'll know which one I'm tracing. So I'm tracing the, not the seam allowance, but I'm just tracing the one that is inside. So just take your time while tracing and make sure it is like you are applying pressure or applying force shell. So no, applying pressure, so it can like trace well. Make sure you trace every single thing on the front pattern paper aside that on the new pattern paper that I placed on the table. So that's what I'm doing. Take your time, trace very well. So you have to go back and trace again. Like me, I had to go back and trace some parts because I could not see, although I was not using my glasses. So that is it. So just make sure you like trace really well and you'll be good. Trace. So let's set my book as I just like trace those lines in between. So make sure you trace those lines too, very important. And also the center line that we make sure you trace that too. You trace that line. I'm just tracing that line. Please take your time. Don't rush. Take your time. So I'm done tracing. So I'll just be removing everything. And also the pattern paper, the front pattern paper. The video is actually like self-explanatory. So just making all the lines, all the things I trace visible using my marker, my red marker. I'm using red marker this time. So we can like differentiate it. It's going to make sense, please. So I'm just going to like stop talking and allow you guys watch. So that's my center line that I traced. So that's my knee to crotch line that I'm tracing now. So I'm going to trace that also, or that I'm making bold rather not trace. We already traced, so we're making it bold, we're making it visible. Then I'm going to stop talking so we can like enjoy the video. My hair came to play. My hair came to play. If you don't know my natural hair videos, please watch them. They are golden. Very golden. Just watch them. Because that was how I started this channel. I started with making natural hair videos. So yeah. Not a guru, but I just enjoy it. But yeah. I enjoy this too. So see, that's like bring back my friend's pattern, just like get the accurate mark because I couldn't see some parts, so I had to like put it back again and retrace. So please don't be like me. Make sure you take your time while tracing. And if you have like a transparent pattern paper, awesome. So I'm just marking to just get like accurate. If you like trace very well, you'll be fine. But I couldn't see some parts, so I had to like go back to trace or retrace. I'm going to write my waistline, hip line. I'm just abbreviating it. My reference line, my crotch line, and we're marking our knee line. So I'm just like measuring that to just get it. So this is my knee line, and yeah, we have my knee line and ankle line. So we have like a duplicate of the front. So that's what we have. Next thing, really nice to like change this pattern to a back pattern. Make sure you have space on the waistline, like enough space and enough space now. Look at the amount of space that I have. It's about 4 inches, but I don't need that much space, but just to be on the safe side, please have enough space. So from that line, from my crotch line, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. We're going by 1 inch. Then on the upper part of my crotch line, which is my waistline, I'm going to go up by 2 inches. By 2 inches. So I'm going to connect it to the slant line, so don't be scared. It's a slant line, so it can accommodate the curve or our curve at the back. So this way is the erase line also. So I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches. So I like noticed I wasn't my red marker, so I wanted to use a different color. So I'm going to mark that line again. But the same thing I did, I'm going to remark my blue marker. I'm going to do so, yeah. So I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches. So that's 1.5 inches. So now we have our back. So it's going to be like a scoop. So I'm going to measure my waist measurement. My waist is 7. So I'm going to measure that 7 with a slant line. Measure where 7 marks. So I'm going to mark 7 there. Slant. I'll make sure that from that place we raised, then it's going to like touch my waistline on my side seam, if that makes sense, right? It is like a slant line. I'm going to like show you again from the raise we made at the back down to our waistline. So we're going to mark 7 inches, which is our actual waistline. So I'm going to like connect now. I'm going to like connect. It is the slant line, please, not straight. So next will be nice to take our horizontal measurements. So remember, like we already went into it, has already taken like a lot of taking some measurements, like some amounts from it. So we are going to like be returning that back. So now to get my crotch depth for my back, I'll be dividing my hip again. Instead of 20, my hip circumference, instead of 20, I'm dividing by 10. So that is going to give me 3.5. So 35 divided by 10 is 3.5, which is my hip circumference divided by 10, just to get our back crotch depth. So I'm going to like mark it from that blue line we made down to where 3.5 is marked, and I'm going to mark 3.5 there. So that's our new, or that, let me not say new, because that is our back crotch depth. So I'm going to be taking my crotch, my hip measurement again from that point. I'm just going to like mark it there, which is 8.75. Mark it there from the blue line, and I'm using the blue line. I'm going to mark that again. What I have there, I'm going to return that measurement there also, so we can have like, we won't have shortage of fabric because we already went in by some inch. So I'm just going to like connect those points that we made. Let's like connect. Let's find out. So we're going to connect it down to that point, my crotch line. Next, now really nice to work on my crotch depth. So I'm going to make a perpendicular line or a perpendicular dot from that point, make it up 1 inch. I'll go by 1 inch, and I'm going to like connect So I'll make sure that that 1 inch vertical point we made, I'm going to like connect it to my crotch depth or my crotch line and connect it down to, just make sure everything is, all the points are touching. So that is what you have. So now working on our knee. So now on my knee measurement, I'm just going to like connect that to my crotch line again, so we can work on our knee. So on our knee, I'm just going out by 0.75 inch. Just going to go out 0.75 inch and mark what I have there, then return it back to that point, which is 0.75 inch also. So I'm just going to like connect. So that cutting drafting a basic pants block is not difficult. It's actually easy peasy, right? So this is like mark that also, like, or connect that also from the back crotch depth down to the back knee measurement. So I'm going to do the same thing on my ankle, go out by 0.75 and then connect. So what we did in front that time, that we used our tape to do the connection first before going in our pattern master, we're going to do it again. That's what I'm doing here. Same means I'm going to connect again. So now we can commit to the pattern master like using a straight line. So like connect. And there's something else, like there's a point I was like raise. Please, when you want to make your ankle, measure it the way you want it to be. Mine, I don't like a slim pant, so I added more to my ankle measurement. So yeah, that was what I did. So that's why it's not as slim as, and I don't like a slim pant or a skinny pant. Yeah. So just connecting. Or a skinny trouser. I've been shouting a skinny trouser, please. Anyone, pants, trouser, anyone, please. So now I'll be taking our dart for the back. So now on that slant line, I'm just going to divide it by 2. We're not using our bust span, we're dividing it by 2. So I have 7 inches. I'm going to divide my 7 inches by 2, and that should give me 3.5. So I'm going to mark 3.5. So I mark that. Sorry, it was 8 inches rather. So I'm going to come down by 6 inches. I'm using a slant rather, not straight. I'm going to mix it where I slanted my tape. Please do the same. Right, and that. And there you have it. There you have the slant. I'm just making sure that nothing serious. I'm just making sure that it is accurate. I'm going to connect. So on that point, I'm going to go out by 0.5 inch and 0.5 inch. So I'm going to connect everything together so we can have like our dart ready. So we have our dart ready, our pants, our back pants, or our back pattern is ready. So I'm just adding seam allowance round, nothing serious, just like what we did to the front. Add seam allowance. So cut, and we are done with the back, or we are done with our pants pattern. We're working on our waistband, because waistband is not straight. Remember, we added like a raise in front and the back, so the waistband is not straight. I'm using a straight waistband for this band. Understand? So now I'm just marking like 0.5 inch in, just like I mean 1 inch in, just like get like a straight point shell to start with. Or yeah, so now I'm going to go up by 5 inches. It is very unnecessary. You can go up by 2 inches, it's fine. Okay, I'm going up by 3 inches here, and I'll go by 3 inches, and I'm just going to like mark that to wherever I want and connect. Let's connect that together. That is like going to serve as a line. It's going to serve as a base, nothing serious. So now on the base that we just measured, what we're taking now is to take my waist measurement my waist circumference divided by 2. My waist is 24, so 24 divided by 2 is 12. So I'm going to take in 12 inches, then divide my 12 inches by 2. So I'm going to divide into front and back. So I'm going to divide our 12 inches by 2. So I'm going to mark 6 inches there. So now I'm going to go up by 1 inch or 1.5 inch, then 1.5 inch down. So I'm going to like connect those 3 dots together. So we're going to have our front and our back. So now I'm marking my actual band measurement of 1 inch. So I'm just marking 1 inch upward, and I'm going to connect. So there you have it. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to go up from this point, go up by 0.5 inch upward. So I want to like label so we can like, so I'm going to go by 0.5 inch. Then on this point I'm going to go in, I'm going to go in by 0.5 inch too. So I'm going to connect. So I'm going to like use the cuff, like the cuff part, just connect it back into the 1 inch mark we made. I'm just going to connect. I'm just like connect, and the upper one we made, I'm just going to like connect it back into the 1 inch mark we made. So I'm just going to connect that into. So now there's something we're going to do. What we'll do next is I'm measuring what I have here, 1.5 inch, and I want to raise it because there's no way it's going to like sit right. So I'm just going to like raise it on that part. So like see me do, I'm just like, so I'm doing, I'm marking it and get to raise it from that point down. So you can see I raised it. Just like mark from that point to that line. Then on that line I'm going to go by our 1 inch band. So I'm going to go by 1 inch, then mark that together. So you see we have our band. Our band's already coming into life. So that's how really nice. It might not be the same, so I'm just going to like mark my 12 inch. You can see it's longer than 12 inch. So I'm just going to like mark my 12 inch. Mark my 12 inch and connect. So you see that's our back. So I'm going to write front. This is my front and this is my back. This band is going to like sit so well on your pants, like you will love it. Honestly, try it. So now I'll be adding seam allowance round. I want to use like a different color of marker so we can see it very well. So I'm going to add seam allowance of 0.5 inch round. That's what I'm just adding. Easy peasy, right? Yeah. Tell me in the comment section how easy this thing was, and yeah, just tell me. And please like, subscribe, share with your friends that love to sew. Just do nice stuff for me. So I'm going to add seam allowance also at that point. I'm going to add seam allowance there also, and depending on the type of pants you are working with, depending on the kind of pants you are working with. If you are working with a pant that has a back zip, you add seam allowance on the back side, like you cut the front on the fold, then you add seam allowance on the back of the pattern, like the back seam of the pattern. Yeah. But if it's like you want a fly, which is like the next video we'll be doing, which is the pant we'll be working, because I already have a video on how to make a back zip, a short with back zip. You cut the back on the fold, then make extensions on the front. So I'll be cutting now. I just hope my explanation like makes too much sense. Now it's like cut now and we are done. We're actually done. So please make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends that love to sew. I'll see you in future videos. Bye. Yeah, I'm just checking it out. Yeah, checking my banners and looking good.